everyone, in this video, I will show you on how you can hire a VA for your Amazon business. So in this video, I will show you when to hire a VA, how to hire a VA, and why you need to hire a VA. I will also discuss about how to hire a VA on your own, how much do you need to pay them, and I will show you on what apps you can use in order for you to have a good system with your VA. Let's dive in. So what is a VA? So a VA is a virtual assistant. It's a person who provides support services to a business from a remote location, and you can hire them either part-time or full-time. So if you are starting in this business, when do you want to hire a VA? Okay, so why hire a VA? So the reason why you want to hire a VA is because number one, a lot of the reason why most people or most sellers really hire a VA is because they can automate the business for you, right? So especially if you, for example, you have a full-time job and you don't have as much time as you can, then this VA can help you automate it for you. They would, like, for example, you can give them tasks that they can do it like overseas, and then after that, like once they're done with their task, they give it to you, and then you can just run your business smoothly. Okay, so they can give you more free time. So for example, especially if you're already running a big business, like for me, like I cannot do all the tasks, right? Like I don't do a lot of research anymore because I also have I'm running a course, right? So I don't have all the time in the world to also do all the paperwork for taxes, to handle returns and everything like that. If I don't have a VA right now, I'm doing all this stuff, right? But with the VA, they can do that for you. So it gives me more free time, especially with me, I have young kids, right? So I don't wanna like spend my whole time just working for Amazon and not having enough time already for family, right? So that's why we do business, so we can have time for family. So they can help you scale up your business by finding you lots of products. So a lot of Amazon sellers, I know that their main focus actually is research. So the reason why they hire a VA is for them to be able to find as much product as they can by hiring a VA that knows how to do it. Okay, so when do you hire a VA? So when is the right time to hire a VA? So if you have enough income to pay for their salary, okay, so I don't recommend hiring a VA if you're just starting and you don't have enough income yet. So usually my rule is like this, right? So your profit needs to be divided in 3 parts. So one part is if you really need to pay yourself, then 1/3 of that should just go, should be enough to pay for your salary. Okay, so 1/3 needs to be reinvested in your business. The reason why you want to reinvest is because if you don't reinvest, what's going to happen is that you're going to end up not scaling up because the capital is just the same. So for example, you only have $5,000 in capital and you're making X amount every month. If you don't reinvest, it's just going to be all the time 5,000. So you don't expect that your sales will grow because you're investing the same money over and over again, right? But if some of your profit will go to reinvesting, you will see growth because you're reinvesting some more, right? And the last part is for management, right? So operating expenses. So one of those is the VA. So if you are, for example, working full-time, right? So maybe 1/3 of, instead of you getting the money for yourself, since you still have a salary, why don't you use it to hire a VA? So for example, you start making $1,000 every month, right? So profit $1,000. So then, $350 can be to hire a VA. So that means, should I hire that VA part-time or full-time? Whatever you can afford on that 1/3, that's how you can hire your VA. Okay, so if you have a full-time job and you really need help. So for some people, for example, I know I have students who said to me, okay, Cheryl, I have $70,000 to invest instantly, right? So those kind of people, they scale up faster because they have the financial capability to hire people instantly right on the bat, right? So if you are that person, so if you are here, you're just learning, and yet you have money that you feel like, okay, if I'm going to hire a VA, it will help me to grow the business faster, then it will be a good idea for you to hire it. But at the same time, I don't want you hiring a VA when you don't know even what you're doing yet, right? Because that's the reason why I always advise, if you are new, even if your ultimate goal is to actually automate your business, meaning you're going to just hire a prep center to do it, you're going to hire a VA to do all the research and everything like that, you still need to do it on your own in the beginning. Right at this moment in your time, you need to learn the in and outs of Amazon. So think about this, that you're taking the course. Think that right now is your learning phase. So even if you're not making that money yet, it's okay. It's like taking MBA, right? So you're right now in a school, and when you are in a school, your purpose is actually to learn, not to make money, right? So the good thing of this of Amazon course is that you will start making money as you learn. So that's the best part. So it's only a bonus. Your money is a bonus, right? In a way. So if you are learning, okay, so I want you to learn the in and out, so that when you hire a VA, when you hire a prep center, when you hire other people, when they make mistake, you know how to correct them. Because like, for example, a lot of newbies would tell me, oh, can I just hire a VA? And then I'm a newbie. I don't know yet what to do, but I'm going to hire a VA so they can help me find products. That's a very big mistake, because you don't know what they are capable of, right? You don't know if they're good in finding products. You don't even know yourself if the listings that they're giving you or the product they're giving you are actually good or not, right? So if that's the case, you will make a lot of mistakes, meaning you're going to buy all the products that they're recommending, thinking that they're giving you a good product, but you don't know how to do the research. You don't even know how to count, how to decide if it's really profitable or not, or if it's really going to sell or not. So it should be that if you hire a VA, and if you hire them for research, for finding products, the last say will still be on you. Meaning you go through all the product that they research on, you calculate it themselves, you look at the numbers and see if it's really profitable or not, right? So that's something that you need to do, because if not, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Maybe they're giving you products that's not really selling, and you just keep on buying because you don't know what to do. Okay, so make sure that you know what you're doing, you know how to do your own research before hiring a VA. So if you are not seeing progress anymore because you are too busy doing admin work or work that can be passed on to an employee, so this is more for people who's already seeing growth in their business. So for example, as your business are growing, let's say, oh, your time is already worth, for example, $50 per hour, right? So after all the profit you did, calculate how much time you work on your business. So let's say, okay, so for 40 hours I work, I'm worth $50 per hour. So don't work on those tasks in Amazon that's only worth $4 an hour, right? So for example, hiring a VA would cost $4 an hour, and they can do it for you. Why would you spend your $50 per hour time doing those tasks when you can give it to other people? So that's the time that you will realize, oh, I can give this to a VA. Then the time that I'm spending, instead of me wasting my $50 an hour, I can give it to somebody who I can pay $4 an hour, and I can do the $50 job, right? So that's something that you need to think. So when should I hire a VA? Okay, so salary. Okay, let's talk about salary. So how much a VA usually costs? So it will actually depend on what VA you want to hire. Okay, so many people could also pay like $2 per hour, $3 per hour, $4 per hour for someone who doesn't have basically a training? You're going to train them on their own, right? So for people who's willing to train them on their own, then you can pay cheaper. But the more knowledgeable the VA is, the more that you want to pay them. Because if you pay them very, low salary and they are good, they can just be, it's easy for them to find a new employer. Okay, so then they won't stick around with you simply because you don't pay them that well. Okay, so is there an advantage on hiring, more experienced than the experienced one, right? Inexperienced one. So one of the advantage of hiring an experienced one is that they can do more for you instantly, right? So you don't need to babysit them constantly. You can just, like, for example, do some tests, give them some tests and see if they can find you product that's really profitable. Once you see that, oh, he really knows what he's doing, then he's good to go. You can ask him, okay, I want this and that, and then it works, right? But if, like, so the disadvantage of hiring an employee who never did any Amazon research before or anything about Amazon, they're newbies, yes, you will pay them less, but you need to train them. But the good thing, though, is that they don't have habits yet, right? So if you have your own way of looking, so for example, you're so good in finding products and you have already, a solid strategy that you just want to teach them, so they will be more, open to it. They listen more, right, than those who are already, like, knows what they're doing. Sometimes they would have their own way. Okay, so that's the advantage and disadvantage of hiring an experienced and inexperienced VA. So usually, okay, so for a full time, for 40 hours a week, it's at least average is at least $4 per hour, or 8,000 pesos per week. Okay, so 8,000 pesos. So for Canadian, it's like divided by 40 dollars. Okay, so that's how much you can pay them per week. But I know people who also pays their VA like only $15 a week, 15,000 pesos a month, right? Which is like very low. But those are the ones that you really need to train as well, right? So maybe they don't have experience, and then once they get experience and you still pay them the same amount, they might move on and find a new employer. Okay, so that's the only downside of it. So one thing that you need to also know is that in Philippines, okay, so if you're hiring people from Philippines, like VA from Philippines, which is they're the most common VA that a lot of Amazon seller gets, because they have really good, so Filipinos have English as a second language, so it's easier to communicate, right? Because that's the most important part of hiring a VA, is that you can communicate and they can really understand your instructions. Okay, so in the Philippines, they do have something like 13 months pay, meaning it's a 1 month salary bonus every December. So you need to make sure that you will pay this VA with the 13 months pay salary, or else they might go and find another employer. Okay, so this is like something that you can pay them in return of good service. Okay, so another one that you need to remember is vacation. Okay, like usually their Christmas vacation is like a week. So from the 24th all the way to January 2 or 3, something like that, like, so a week or something. Then you need to also give them that kind of vacation in order for you to, have a good relationship. This is more, it's up to you, but this is more for if you want a VA to be loyal and stays with you for a long time. I'm giving you a tip that this is what's usual in the VA world, and that they usually acknowledge this so that they would stay with you. They're happy with you. Okay, so if you also like, you can follow Canadian holidays. Some don't, some do. It depends. Okay, so there's different ways to hire a VA. Okay, so there's different ways to hire a VA. So first is do it yourself. So what is do it yourself? Meaning you're going to hire them on your own. Okay. So another way is referral, and the next one is hiring an agency to help you out. Okay, so let's talk about do it yourself. So do it yourself is the most cost effective, but it's the most work that you're gonna do, right? So you need to train the VA yourself, number one. Number two, you need to find a place where you can hire them. You're going to interview them. Basically, you're gonna do all the steps in order for you to hire the VA. So after that, you will also find a way. So it depends on if you're gonna do it on a platform or not, but a way to pay them as well. Okay, so number two is referral. And with the referral, if you are already, for example, if you already have a VA, or you know a friend who's also an Amazon seller who also have a VA, maybe they know somebody, then you can also do this. The good thing with this is it's also cost effective, and it's possible that you may get a good VA because it's referred by somebody you already knew. So maybe they worked for them before and they have good work ethics already. So basically they know the person. So you can also do that as well. So with the agency, it's the most expensive. I know people would pay like 2,000 to 3,000 US dollar just to match them with a proper VA. And it's not even a guarantee that it might work, but the only good thing with that is that they would replace it for you for free. So meaning they would do, like, they already have mostly already trained VAs, knows what they're doing, and then they would match it with you, what you need. So for example, you say, oh, I need to, like, someone who knows how to do admin as well, or bookkeeping or other things, then they would match it for you, and then you pay them with money. So you can change VA easily with this one as well, right? So because it's already pre-qualified by the company. So this one, I would recommend if you have money and you don't have time to do it, okay? So how do you hire a VA on your own? So let's focus on this because a lot of you might do it on your own. With me, I also did it on my own. So the first thing you need to do if you want to hire a VA on your own is post a job offer. Okay, so what are the sites that are very popular to hire a VA? Okay, so one of them is Upwork.com, onlinejob.ph, and freeup.net. So if you want to focus only for Filipino VAs, it's the onlinejob.ph. In Upwork.com, there's so many different nationality who would apply in it, and freeup.net. So this one, basically you pay them a little bit of fee for how much service that the workers are doing for you. So for example, their salary right now is, like, for example, you pay them $200, then they would charge a little bit for you as a fee for them, right, for using their platform. So with them, the good thing with this one is that you just connect your credit card to the platform, and they will pay the VA themselves. So the only downside is the VA also get charged every payday for that as well. So with them though, like for example, they track the VA for you. So basically they screenshot whatever they're doing so they would log in, and then they're tracking if the VA are working or not, right? So then you will receive like different screenshots of like what they're doing throughout the time that they're logged in. Okay, so that's the good thing of that. So basically they're doing all the hard work for you in a way, right? So what are you gonna do once you post a job offer? So once you post a job offer, so you can, when you are posting a job offer, okay, make sure to give specific instruction to those applicants. So what is it? So for example, you can say, okay, to respond, okay, to respond to this ads or to this job offer, please put in the subject of your email, for example, green apple. Basically just a code for you, because you're going to receive tons and tons and tons of application. So right from the bat, you need to have a specific instruction so you can weed out who are the right candidate or not. So by giving them specific instruction that's saying, like, for example, put in the subject line green apple, right? You can do whatever you want, but you give them specific instruction. Those who didn't do it is out. So then it shorten your applicants. Okay, so that's how you can do it, that you would know instantly, oh, this person, this particular VA have attention to details. Okay, because what part of our work, part of their work, they need to be having a really good attention to details. They know how to follow instruction, right? So that's a tip for you guys. So the next step we're gonna be, you're gonna select the right candidate. Okay, so once you go through, okay, you booted out everybody that didn't follow your first instruction, and then from all the candidates, now you're going to select at least 2 or 3. Okay, so with the 2 or 3 people, what you can do is give them, for example, you can say, okay, 15 hours per week, we're gonna start, and there's 3 months probation. So we're gonna try it first in the first 3 months, see if we're a good fit or not. So if you want, you can also do 10 and give them a specific task. Okay, so give specific task to do. So for example, your goal is to just usually what we do is we give them, okay, find me X amount of products every week. So for example, for the 10 hours, so let's say, so usually, okay, so for example, with I give you the salary of 40 hours per week, right? So with the 40 hours per week, for some people who are actually doing just product research, with the 40 hours, with $4 per hour, some people, they require them to give them at least 8 to 10 products a day. Okay, so for a 10 hours then, right? So let's just say 10, so 40, so that's 40 times 10, 10 times 5, so that's 50 products in 40 hours, right? So you can tell that, so 50 divided by 4, so that's more or less how many? 12, right? So you can say, okay, so you need, with 15 hours per week, you need to give me how many? Let's calculate. What did I say? Okay, so with 10 times 50, so that's so 10 times 5, that's 50, and so 50 for 4 hours, so it's 10, so divided by 4, so that's 12. Okay, so it should be 12 or 13 products per week that they need to come up with. Okay, so this is just for you to see, like, if they would do it. So then you would say, okay, give me at least like this much amount, like 13 products within a week that you're researching. So whoever you see can find a really good deals, number one. So you see that, oh, what they're looking at is really like they can find really good profitable listings. Number two, oh, they can actually work, like they can give me really like 13, right? So look at their work, see how perfect, how, you know, who get the most perfect work for you, then that's the one that you can hire. So you let go of others and keep 1 or 2. So if you like, you can also do, like, for example, you know, 15 hours. So basically you have 2 VA if you like. But the only downside of a part-time VA is they might not stick around with you as well, right? So in the long run, choose that somebody who can really work and follow your instructions. Okay, so after you give them the specific task, they did it, and you choose, you see who works well, then select the one that stand out the most. Okay, and then after that, you need to train your own VA. So unfortunately, here in Canada, there's no VA that can so that knows the Canadian market. So one of the challenges is that, for example, for taxes, right? So they don't know anything about, oh, what's the sales tax in different provinces, what's the sales tax in, for example, if it's grocery, non-grocery, and stuff like that. So you need to tell them how to know if, you know, you need to charge sales tax or not. Also, one thing you need to also train them, for example, like maybe they only know a certain software and you're using a specific software. So you need to train them with that as well, right? So basically you need to train your VA the way you want it, like the way you like them to work, right? So also, for example, if you want them not just doing research, maybe you want them to do admin work, you also need to train them as well. Okay, so slowly increase the hours and slowly increase their tasks. So I would suggest for you not to bombard them with so many tasks at once, because you need to understand that they come from a different country and they have a different way of working. Some might be very good because maybe they come from a corporate world before, if you hire that kind of people, but some might not have that kind of discipline yet, right? So if you want to see, okay, if you want them to do the job really well, give them one task at a time. So for example, you would say, okay, for now, you can apply for wholesale for me. You give them the step by step, okay? It needs to be step by step. This is what you need to do. Number one, number two, number three, number four. Give them template if you need to. Like, for example, what to send to suppliers, right? So if you're gonna hire them for doing research, so show them how you find the product step by step. Use videos. Like videos are really good in order for them to see it like virtually, and also at the same time they can rewind and pause in order for them to know what they supposed to do. Okay, if not, you might end up getting frustrated and saying that, oh, you're not doing your work well. So I would suggest, it's very common that you need to give them specific tasks. So once they're good at it, then move on to the next one. So I would just caution, like for example, repricer. I've heard stories about people giving tasks to VAs doing the repricing. If you think you're not confident for them to do that, don't, because this one can make you lose money. So make sure that you're confident that they do a really good job. They have attention to details. They know what they're doing before giving them tasks that's too risky, basically. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so what software or apps do I use to for my own VA? So number one is a Dropbox. Okay, so the reason why I like Dropbox is because, so if you don't want to pay, you can also use I think Google Drive. But for me, I use Dropbox because, for example, one of the tasks that I give to my VA are sourcing, like basically for retail arbitrage, right? So what I do is I have my Dropbox in my phone, and I would take a photo through the Dropbox already. Like I create a folder, and then I would start snapping pictures in store, and then it's saved on one of the folder in the Dropbox. And then I can just share that link to my VA, and then she can also access the Dropbox. And then at the same time, I also create like folders. So for example, something that I need to share with her, like for example, receipts and everything. Like for example, I want her to update all the cost of goods, right? So all the receipts that I have, I put it in the Dropbox, and she can access it and do it for me. Okay, so another one is WhatsApp. So the way I communicate with my VA instantly is through WhatsApp. So if I have some, like I want to remind her something, I want to talk to her instantly, so it's like text message but for free, right? So LastPass. So LastPass is like, instead of me sharing, like for example, giving her access to like software and everything, and giving her like changing all my passwords, right? I just do the LastPass, because this one you can share it and they won't see the password. So once you also don't want that VA anymore, you can just go to your LastPass and then you can take them out. take out their access to that website, so they cannot access it anymore. Okay, so this is the safest way, because you don't want them taking over your Amazon business or your credit cards or anything like that, right? So this is the safest way for you. Also, like for example, when you're hiring a VA, make sure to write down, you have a spreadsheet of like, what are the passes, like what are the websites that you shared with them, right? Because if you don't want them anymore, maybe you forgot like some of the access they have that you didn't know they still have access to, then they can just use it, right, without your knowledge. Okay, so another thing for access is that in your Seller Central app, so when you're giving them access, you add them as part of your team, but you can choose actually limit. Okay, make sure to limit what they can see or what they can access. Don't give them all the access, or else they can change your passwords and everything and take over your account. I heard also horror story about that, so please be mindful with that. Okay, spreadsheets. Okay, so with the spreadsheets, I do have spreadsheets that I share with my VA. Okay, so for you to know, so for example, you have your requirements, right? So in the Kipa, the easy way that I taught you guys, there's requirements, so you can have it as a requirement for your VA. So then these spreadsheets, you can just in one look, you know exactly like if you're gonna buy this or not by just checking a little bit and then confirming. Okay, so this one you can share. I usually use Google worksheet, and then you can share it both. You can see it on her end, you can see it on your end, and you can edit it anytime. Okay, so Loom is a video app where, for example, you're giving, as I've said, it's better to have a visual video. So this one you will have a video basically of screenshots, just like Zoom, so you can record it. And then, but the good thing with this is that it creates a link, and you just give the link to your VA, so you can actually create different videos. If you want, part of your standard operating procedure is that you can have videos on how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, how to do, and save it in your Loom, so that whenever you have a new VA, for example, one didn't work out, you have a new one to train, you already have all those videos that you can just share the link with and share it to them. Okay, so last one is Clockify. So this one is if you are hiring on your own. Okay, so you're not going to use Upwork, you're not going to use any of those platforms where you're going to pay fee. You, for example, got it by referral, right? So Clockify will help you monitor, like they can monitor themselves, like with this app on what they're doing. So at least you're updated. But for some other people, for example, I know some sellers who would like just ask them, okay, just give me 10 products. So their focus is on product sourcing only. So give me 10 a day. I'm okay of whatever you're doing. Just I don't care of how much time you spend, as long as you're giving me 10 products a week, a day, then I'm already okay with it. I will pay you X amount, like for example, 8,000 pesos every single week. So it will depend on you how you like it to be. Okay,